Okay, what is a gripe you have with sports? But it has to be like the players, and it can be any sport, but it has to be like the players, not like a rule, not like parents in the crowd.
I have a non-hockey one and a hockey one. My non-hockey one is when a football player makes a big tackle after the first down, and he celebrates like he just scored a touchdown. And the team just got a first down. That's my non-hockey one. My hockey one is really obvious. I've said this a million times, and it's when a team scores a goal and they skate the length of the ice celebrating when they leave the other four skaters with them behind to draw attention to themselves. And I would prefer that they recognize the other four players, celebrate together, go back to the bench or go back to the face-off circle. Don't
they celebrate with each other anyways though? They still do it
after the fact, but it's another 30 seconds I could do without. Let's just get to the celebration.
But also, isn't that the refs' fault the state hockey because didn't
a
they
little
tell
bit,
them
yeah.
they
So they can't celebrate in front of their team's bench. You're correct.
So
you could get a penalty.
Yeah,
that happened in the Alex Minneapolis state tournament. I saw with my own eyes.
Yeah, so take it back.
Yeah,
so
it
was
take
Alex or Minneapolis. He went and jumped up. He scored probably his only goal in the state tournament. Jumps into the glass, and it happened to be into the Alexandria section. 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. So all right,
take it back.
I'm not taking it back.
Not taking it back.
I think it's also a silly rule.
What's yours?
Like rule. Well, in general, I hate when players do the palms up thing after every call.
Yeah.
But the one that really gets my gotten is when a period ends or a game ends and they don't go to their goalie to tap the goalie on the pads or pat him on the head when they just start getting off the ice between periods. That bothers me because I was always taught buzzer sounds, everybody go get the goalie. Yeah, everybody go tap the goalie.
What if the goalie did a really bad job?
What if he let in 6 goals on 7 shots?
You do it anyway.
Okay, all right,
you do it anyway. The psyche of a teenage goaltender is fragile.
Oh yeah.
Don't do it. If it's gonna be broken, let somebody outside the program break it. Don't have it break because he doesn't feel supported by his team. That should be your first instinct when the buzzer goes off is to go tap your goalie's pads. You can be mad at your goalie. You can be frustrated with your goalie. Your goalie could have played terribly, but they're the ones taking all the shots. Maybe you're not doing your job out of the crease.
Oh, I totally agree. Kayla, what's yours?
Mine stems from college because I went to a lot of volleyball games in college, and first of all, volleyball is a lot of cheering.
Yes.
Like after every single point.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it pains me because it's so aggressive. It's not just like regular woo, we did it. It's like very aggressive cheering. But I especially hated when they would get a point because someone on the other team just missed. Not like they hit it up the first time, but then they hit it into the net or something. I'm like, why are you cheering so loud for an unforced error? You had nothing to do with that.
Couldn't agree with you more. I've always thought that was weird.
It's just a weird, it's not like I hate joy.
You hate joy.
You hate joy. The joy hater.
Happy.
Joy to the world.
Christmas pod.
Joy to the world.
I am the Grinch.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Need to stay up out the streets if you can't.
Welcome to 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Santa. I have Peter Scott with me and Kayla behind the producer.
I don't quite know what he's saying there either.
Tony Santa.
You said Peter Scott.
Did I really say
that?
Yeah,
you did. No.
Peter, wow. I had Tony Scott. I had everything going on here.
Now I'm going to kill you.
Yes. Yes.
Murder.
How is everybody doing today?
Great. Christmas party and
Christmas party in an hour. So we'll be definitely over 10 minutes, but under an hour.
Where's our Christmas party?
Giordano's.
I've never been there.
Is that Italian?
Yes.
Have you been there, Peter?
No.
Oh.
It's a famous Chicago pizzeria. in
I've
Chicago.
never been there.
Tony
Do we
described
get like our own little room?
Yeah, we have our own party room.
Ooh.
Tony described it to me as Chuck E. Cheese.
I did not.
Yes.
I
Do we
did
get to
not.
play arcade
Chuck E.
games?
Cheese.
There are no. You don't have games or tickets or anything like that.
Dang it.
There's no
There
fun.
will be. There will be.
It's not even really like a holiday party. It's just like holiday
They're
dinner.
going to be Dundee Awards.
It's just holiday dinner.
We will have some Dundies going on today.
Peter
Is Greg
asked,
Tinty live streaming?
I don't think he's live streaming, but he will be there with his wife.
Peter also asked
Allie.
what we're supposed to talk about because apparently he has no concept past work.
I do not.
What'd you say?
I have no desire to talk to anybody here. Other than Allie Tinty. Allie's cool.
How about Debbie Zozel?
Yeah.
Her too?
Yeah, me and other people's wives are just going to go hang out somewhere at Giordano's.
That's fantastic. At least somebody's going to be babysitting them because Greg and I won't be.
Well, unfortunately, Laura's going to try to make it.
Really?
Near the end. Near the end.
After the awards?
It's going to be after the awards
All right.
because
Everyone there gets an award.
her night at
Fitting, right?
Her work schedule stipulates that Wednesdays she does 11 to 7 at the VA. So she's going to try to hop over.
See, I wasn't even clear
she's
that
done.
there were plus ones. So
Yeah, Jake's not coming. He wouldn't come anyway.
yeah, you probably would have.
Oh, like
He would've?
Your son?
Why not? No, boyfriend.
Oh,
I didn't know there were plus ones. I would have invited him.
You did the awards. How wouldn't you know there was plus
invite
ones?
him now.
Invite him now.
He took the day off of work because he doesn't feel good, so I don't think he wants to come.
That's a
We
lie.
don't want him there. We
That's
don't
a
want
lie.
him there.
I want him there.
I want him there, but I don't want him there if he's sick, especially
Yeah,
on the
that's-
eve of a big
that's
tournament, which we will get to later. Preview and predictions for the Lumberjack Cup right here. So before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the rankings.
Your chair is off, by the way.
Is it?
Yes.
How? What do you mean? What's off?
It
What happened?
tilts
with
to the right.
it? Oh, it feels fine to me.
Tilts to the right.
Feels good.
He's talking
All right.
about the chair that he's sitting in.
Oh,
It's
the
your
one.
chair
Okay.
normally.
Yeah. Which apparently we switched sides today because Tony has a kink in his neck.
Santa.
It's a great band, by the way, the Kinks. What number did you pull out of your hat there, buddy?
I pulled out number 6.
Hey!
So today we are going to talk about the number 6 ranked teams in the staff rankings this week. Do you want to do
Let's
girls first or
go.
boys first?
Let's do boys first. I got my boys research
You ready
all
to go? I got
Yes,
some
we're
research on the girls. I got every team. I know every team in the state.
Yep, we're going to start at the top. Bantam AA. The number
Who's number 6 in Dan AA?
This is according to staff rankings, right?
I write these, yeah.
Rogers is
Yeah.
number 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep, the Royals 1-2-1 in their last 4 games. Close losses against Edina 3-2 and Woodbury 4-3. A 0-0 tie with Andover, and then a 5-0 win over Centennial on the 15th. The Royals are 17-9-3.
You're number
for
6 in the
season.
state. That means someone out there thinks you're going to state. So somebody for sure. All right. Who's Bantam A?
Bloomington Jefferson.
Yes.
Jags are 19-5-5 on the season, 4-0 in their last 4 games, and in those 4 games, they've scored a total of 4 goals 3 times.
Jack Getters, a good friend of the our family, is one of the coaches on that team, and we had through the Minnesota Wild free tickets for Jack to go to the game on Friday night, but he can't go because of the Lumberjack Cup 6:00 game.
Wow,
so,
way to
too
go,
bad, Jack.
Tony
Sorry, you can't
Santa.
cash in on those tickets.
Way to go, Tony Santa.
Tony Santa was not nice to Jack Getters this week.
Bantam B, Moorhead Black. Spuds 18-3 on the season. 4-game winning streak and back-to-back shutouts over East Grand Forks and Little Falls for the Spuds.
A lot of talent up there in Moorhead right now.
Lot of talent.
PBAA?
East Grand Forks
That's the team.
is the number 6 team according to staff.
That's a good team.
Rankings, the Greenway 5-1 in their last 6 games. They've also scored in double digits twice during that stretch, and they scored 9 times in a 9-3 win over Andover.
That's a big
on
win.
December 7th. Yeah.
I think Andover's good.
I think Andover's good too. Andover is still perpetuating the stereotype, which isn't even a stereotype anymore. It's just fact that all of their games are just weird.
High scoring.
Tons of goals. One way or another,
Just
their
tons.
goals are going to be on the board when Andover PBW.
Racehorse hockey. You know who's getting pretty good? I know they're not in this segment, but Blaine's coming on. Blaine, I thought was going to be really good this year, and they struggled a little bit early in the season, but I feel like the Bengals are on their way back.
I wouldn't doubt that for a minute. PWA, Detroit Lakes.
Oh, I like hearing that.
9-1-1 on the season. It's the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
Lakers. I played against Detroit Lakes once. I should remember that.
Was it up there or down here?
Up there.
Beautiful barn.
It was the only time. It couldn't have been the only time because we played Breck twice a year. But I think it was the first time I ever played against somebody who's an NHL draft pick.
Who is that? Barry Talixon?
Tanner Lane.
Really? Okay.
Tanner Lane was a 6th-round draft pick of the Florida Panthers.
That's where Garrett Raboin played hockey, too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a great barn. They got the big mural on one side of the wall.
Super cool.
It's kind of scary.
It's interesting. They have Detroit Lakes has a regular two-sheet facility, very similar architecture as Alexandria, Cottage Grove, New Hope. I'm not saying it's identical, but it's kind of got a little bit of that same feel, right?
Yep.
But what they also have is they got a rink outside, in right outside the parking lot that's Zamboni. So they have 3 really good sheets in Detroit Lakes. They beat their high school beat Alexandria last night. And I almost tweeted, but it didn't really come out very well when I was tweeting or typing it.
Okay.
It would be in a battle of summer lakeshore, vacation spots. Detroit Lake. It didn't come out very well, so I didn't even write it. But I'm going to say it now on the show.
In the battle of Zorba's Detroit Lakes and Zorba's Alexandria.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was going with. Like both are vacation destination spots in the summer. Yeah, I got good hockey programs in the winter too.
I would love to see Detroit Lakes make a run here.
It would be amazing.
It would be great.
So cool.
As for the Pee Wee A's, they're on a 4-game winning streak. They lost to Bemidji on December 1st and then beat my Jamestown, North Dakota.
Really?
Jamestown Valley City Prowl.
That's incredible.
They beat Jamestown Valley City 6-5, Mount Westnaca 3-2, Greenway 8-7, and Thief River Falls 8-6. So the Lakers proving they can win
against anybody
in close games. Alrighty, Pee Wee Bees. The number 6 team, according to staff rankings, is Hutchinson.
Nice,
Hutchinson.
See, the boys is turning out really nice. Like my girls, this random thing I'm looking through, it's like Centennial Spring Lake Park show. Yeah. Just get ready, okay?
Yeah. No,
you're getting variety.
There are some new teams here. It's Tigers, right? Hutchinson Tigers.
Yeah.
Hutchinson Tigers. Back-to-back losses early in the month against Delano and North Shore, and since then the Tigers have rattled off 5 consecutive wins. The fewest amount of goals scored in that stretch was 6 in a 6-2 win over St. Cloud White. Among those 5 games, we got a 13-2 win over Denfeld, a 9-0 win over River Lakes, 9-2 over Orono, and a 10-2 win over St. Cloud White.
Nice job, Tigers.
Yeah.
And then you got Squirt A's?
I do.
I think we got Edina at 6, don't we?
No. According to staff rankings, Squirt A, we got Woodbury Black.
Woodbury Black, who just won.
Woodbury Black.
We're going to get to them in a little bit.
Yep, the Royals are 11-2 on the season. They're on a 5-game win streak at the moment. Both losses this year have come against Woodbury Royal, funnily enough.
Yep.
Squirt Bees, the number 6 team, according to staff rankings.
Let me just add here, they won this Squirt A team. They won the Cornerstone, and Logan Gliniani had 3 goals and 2 assists for the Predators.
So what you're saying is splitting the Squirt A team into
was not
2
a
teams does not stop them from winning championships.
No.
Do they need to split it into 3 teams?
Don't say that, please.
Black,
please.
Royal, and gold.
Kayla.
Black, Royal, and gold.
Kayla, please delete that.
I'm just saying it's not fair.
Delete that.
It's not fair for Woodbury to have
bleeps.
2.
We need bleeps in there.
They should have 3 teams.
Stop.
3
Please
teams.
Stop.
3 teams.
All right.
The number 6 team, according to Squirt B staff rankings, you're going to like this one, Wadena.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where my dad was from.
What is the mascot in Wadena?
Wolverines.
Wolverines. I like that. The Wadena Wolverines, 10-0-1 on the season. They just tied Grand Rapids 2-2, but prior to that, we're on a 10-game win streak. The Wolverines have outscored opponents 81-18 this season.
Love hearing that. It's good to hear. They got a brand new building about 10+ years ago after a tornado destroyed their rink.
Maybe they should have multiple teams too.
Yeah, maybe they should. All right, you ready for some girls?
Can you imagine trying to split Wadena into Wadena Blue and Wadena
Oh my gosh, it would be.
There'd be 4 kids on each team.
There'd be fights. Okay, so if you're from Osseo Maple Grove, Edina or Centennial Spring Lake Park, your name's going to get called. So just
everybody else turn it off.
Everyone just turn it off. Fast forward 3 minutes. 15A, it's OMG. They've won 6 out of their last 7. The only time they didn't win is when I was reffing them on Friday night. They tied Minnetonka Black 1-1. Just a quick note, Abigail Pedersen is a girl that stood out to me in that game when I was reffing that one. 15B, Cannon River Royals. They are 8-1-2 in their last 11 games. Centennial Spring Lake Park at 12As have gone 6-0-1. They're the winners of the Centennial Super Chill. And here's an interesting fact. Peter, because they play a really tough schedule, they're number 22 in the now rankings, but they're number 6 in the staff. Why is that? I look at the opponents when I'm writing the staff rankings like, hey, they're playing tough competition. They're beating some of these teams, but they're losing some teams that are maybe just above, a step or two above or step below. I reward teams for playing tough schedules, and they are definitely one of those teams. They're on kind of a heater in the last 7 games.
Fair enough.
12B. This is another. Speaking of heater, but it got a little cold at the at Cabin Fever. They didn't get a fever at the Cabin Fever.
Okay.
They have Osseo Maple Grove White in 12Bs have gone 14-2 in their last 16 games. 14-2.
Nice.
Unfortunately, one of those losses in the Cabin Fever was to Edina in pool play. So they won. They probably won their pool. They probably got second in their pool and won some type of consolation prize. But I'm pretty sure they got their eyes on OMG Black right now and getting maybe some revenge on the OMG on Edina Black as well. So
gotcha.
They are number 3 in the now rankings. 10A, Edina White is undefeated still. They're 4-0-1. Their only tie was in the championship of the Cake Eater. That's a really good team. And then 10B, guess who? Centennial Spring Lake Park. 10-1-3 this year. Their only loss was on November 9th to Andover Black. So the Reds from Centennial, they are on fire since November 9th. So congratulations to those guys. I wish we would have gotten more, but we just pulled the names out of a hat, and that's what you get. So there is today's rankings brought to you by Map South Hockey, Map South in Mendota Heights, which is over at the St. Thomas Academy rink or the St. Thomas rink, whatever you want to call it, in Mendota Heights. It's a fantastic facility. They have a one-sheet facility for skating. They have an off-ice indoor turf area. They have a weightlifting area. They have a puck shooting area. They have a stick handling area. They have a indoor puck shooting area. If you want to get better, you want your kid to get better, or the player wants to get better, talk to your family, have a discussion about going to Map South. You're going to get at least 3 hours, maybe plus, of training every day during the summer. These are the kids that end up doing the sellies that we're talking about. These are the kids that are having the success. They're the ones that are putting the extra time in the off season. So check out Map South Hockey if you want to get better.
They are also in the process of revamping their website.
I know. Is it under construction right now? I have a meeting with them tomorrow about this entire topic, so I think we might have some new names and new sponsorships next week. I'll just say that. Coming soon.
I already own a hat.
You do? With the new name?
With the new name.
Oh, you're so special.
Yeah,
Can you say anything about it yet?
No.
Can you say it yet? It's a 3-letter
acronym,
isn't it?
Sworn to secrecy.
Is it a 3-letter acronym?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
It's sworn to secrecy.
Okay.
But I will say there are perks to being the first one at the rink during Bantam Elite playoffs.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
That's good.
All I'm going to say.
That's good. All right, we're going to go through some games of the past. I already gave one out. Because I gave out that score day score because it was right during a team that we listed. So let's talk a little Bantam AA first. Moorhead, we've much maligned in the last week or so because we've maligned them. They've gotten beaten a couple times. You know, they're actually human. They actually proved they weren't human. They've beaten Chicago Mission and Shattuck St. Mary's the week before.
Oh, that's right. They had the Shattuck show.
Yes, and then last weekend they had a home series, a 2-gamer with Eden Prairie, but sandwiched in there was a game with Grand Forks, the winners of the Spirit of Duluth. Well, the winners of Spirit of Duluth came back and thought they could just show up and beat Moorhead, and Moorhead beat them by a touchdown, 7-1. So I figured I would just share that one. I have become quite the 15A and 15B reffing aficionado the last 2 weekends. I've done a lot at that level.
Very nice.
And I had a game I saw between OMG, who we just talked about a minute ago, and Tonka Black. Played to a 1-1 tie. I thought, in my opinion, Tonka was the better team. I felt like they had more grade A chances, but it ended up in a 1-1 tie. Here's a good story. You'll love this. I go down, pick up a puck, fetch for the icing, and there's Poppy Carson. I'm like, hey, Poppy, how you doing? She looks at me like, what are you doing here? Or something like that. She kind of gave me that funny look, like she couldn't believe that I was reffing her game. But it was a good hockey game. I also did a Bloomington Jefferson Eden Prairie versus Tonka Blue on Saturday. I'll talk about Jefferson later on in the show. And then I also did Edina Green versus Jefferson Eden Prairie as well. And I think the 15B, Edina Green, Edina White, will be a fun matchup when those two teams play. I think they play soon. I know I'm reffing 15B White with Jossie Cookson on Thursday night at 8:45. I'm sure the YHH cameras will be out for that to see me tee up Jossie Cookson or Sam Balzer when they get mouthy with me, because I know they'll try to get mouthy a little bit.
Dude, the Ottawa Charge is in town.
Oh, yes.
All the cool kids are going to the Frost game.
Yeah, on Thursday night. I don't know what Jossie's going to do. Is she got a coach, or is she going to go to the Ottawa Charge game?
I already asked. She's going to coach.
She's coaching. Gosh, she's so committed. All right, and then in 12A and 12B, we talked a little bit about the Cabin Fever. OMG sweeps the 12A and 12B. OMG wins the 12A. I can't remember who they won. I know OMG Black won the B's, but I don't know how OMG won the A's. Did you have some of those details?
I have all of the Cabin Fever details.
Let's hear it.
I was just looking at
Wait, I'm getting a fever. I must be talking about the Cabin Fever.
Oh, good one. I was actually just looking at the box score from the Moorhead Shattuck round 3 game.
Of course you were.
What?
What was the score?
It was 7-3 Moorhead.
Yep, I remember that.
There were a ton of penalties.
Shocker.
Those two teams must just hate each other.
They played 3 times. They're going to play like 8 or 9 this year.
Oh, my gosh. Look at that.
Shattuck's going to get over on them once. I promise you they are.
I think they already have.
Nope.
I think they already.
Nope.
Moorhead's won all of them, huh?
Yep.
Interesting. How about that? Alrighty, Cabin Fever. Start with the 12As. We'll go down to the 12B2s. 12As. OMG goes 5-0 to win the championship at their own tournament. The Leaf Birds beat the Stormhawks. God,
that's what it was.
I love the Bird Bowl. The Bird Bowl is my favorite. The Leaf Birds, Stormhawks. They beat Chaskatchan 4-0 in the finals. Kaylin Engelkeys led the Leaf Birds with 9 goals and 10 points on the weekend.
How about 12Bs?
12Bs, OMG Black beat Edina Black
in the
4-2 in the chip. The leading scorers for the Leaf Birds, and that one were Brooke Cherney with 5 goals and 7 points. And I'm going to try to read my own writing here. Kylie Sowards had 5 helpers in that one.
Nice.
12B2s, Rogers Anoka.
This is one of your picks.
They beat Elk River 1-0 in the championship. Very close games all the way around.
Yeah.
For the Tornado Cats.
Tornado.
I don't remember what they're.
The Blue Tornadoes.
The something. Whatever.
The Royal Tornadoes.
The Royal Tornadoes.
There you go.
Goaltenders Ariella Barnes and Eliana Simpson combined to allow just 3 goals in 4 games for the Royal Tornadoes.
Nice. That wraps up the Games of the Past. That was brought to you by General Sports. My skates, when I skate twice a week, Peter, are unbelievable.
Oh, are we at this point of the show?
Yes. Okay. I think my skates, I love my skates. And I love how I got fitted. I got to go in and meet with Gannon Volk from General Sports, and they looked at my body, looked at the types of skates I should buy. They brought out the right skates. I obviously went through the whole full meal deal with those guys. Sat down with Tori. Tori got me fitted. Tori got my skates baked, and now I've had them for a year, and I've skated I've probably reffed 50 or 60 times, and now that they're fully broken in, man, it feels really comfortable putting those things on, and nice. I owe it all to General Sports.
Awesome. I love General Sports. That's where I get my skate sharpened now.
Yep.
I'm a convert to General Sports. They do a great job on my blades every time.
You're waiting for your stick.
Nope, I'm not saying anything.
You already got your stick?
I'm playing hard to get.
Okay.
I'm playing hard to get right
We'll
now.
go over there and get you a stick.
I am in
Christmas
the market
stick.
I am in the market for another one.
Christmas stick.
I'm in the market for another one. I have one right now, and I can already feel it cracking at the hosel.
Yep.
Is that how you?
That'd be the hosel.
Bevel. Yep. I think it's the
heel.
bevel.
The heel.
I don't know. Somewhere it feels like it's going to snap. So I will be making a trip over to General Sports to replenish not only my sticks but my tape as well.
Nice job. Nice job. Thank you. All right, we're working on the predictions now for the Lumberjack Cup. Do you remember? Do you remember? Let's hear your first memory of covering your first Lumberjack Cup.
I don't want to do this.
Come on.
I don't want to do this.
It's your first ever.
I know, but it's bittersweet though.
Why is it bittersweet?
Because this used to be a really fun 16-team bracket tournament
in Stillwater,
and now
run by the Stillwater Youth Hockey Association.
And now it is
it's been
scheduling and administrative. I don't want to say gong show because that's not the right word, but there's a lot going on. This is gone.
That's 60 teams.
This is gone from one of those tournaments on the calendar where
when you covered it
without having any real skin in the game, and now it's a 60-team monster.
Didn't you have like a game? It was like, I feel like it was Brody Lamb and Dodge County
Brody Lamb
won.
and Matt Donovan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
That was the first time I saw Brody Lamb.
That's super cool. I think he was a first-year Pee-wee at the time.
Probably. But it was my first event that I ever covered for YHH.
Yep. That's why I brought it up. All right.
10 long years ago.
Now it gone from at Stillwater, at Lily Lake, all that stuff. Now we only take the best ice at Stillwater and put the championship games in the building.
Thank
and
God we're not at
if
Lily
you've
Lake
been
anymore.
if you've been there on a Sunday in the championship, this place is unbelievable how kooky the championship games in the Lumberjack. It's like we should call it the Friday the 13th Cup, because the championship games turn out insane. I don't know why that is. That building, something about that rink, it does something to the boys. Maybe it's the light coming in from the outside or something, but it's always insane. So I expect nothing less than another insane championship streak wins this weekend. This is the kind of thing where this is where OMG could get beat.
It's close to Christmas.
Right? Like that would be kooky,
Christmas.
right?
It's close to Christmas.
Yeah.
The kids are all squirrely because they're out of school. And there's a venue change on Sunday. Which makes it feel brand new all over again.
It is squirrely. Could this be the place where OMG gets beat? One of the top 4 teams gets beat?
I don't think so.
I think it could happen. I will not be surprised if it happens this weekend.
I do not believe so.
I'm not picking against them, but we could see that happen. But before we get to Pee Wee AA, let's talk Bantam A.
Yep.
This is one of we have pool play. We only have enough ice to have two pool play versions and then 2 bracket play versions. So the bigger ones got the pools, and then the lower ones got the brackets.
This is like one extra curveball.
Yeah,
from an administrative standpoint.
Correct.
Because there are repeat teams.
I will say this. Yes, I will say this. We want to have pool play so then the players have life on Saturday. You can lose your first game in bracket, and you're like, all right, we'll see you over in the consolation, where we like to give people a little hope. So Michelle, our new tournament director, she pushed back and says, I want to have 2 and 2. I'm like, Michelle, if you're going to organize it, it can be however you want it to be. So that's how we ended up with 2 and 2 like this.
And I prefer bracket play for obvious reasons.
Yeah, well, there's no tiebreakers.
It gets decided.
The problem is there's more overtime then. There's a lot more overtime.
Honestly, I feel like bracket eliminates problems before they happen.
Correct. They definitely do. People know what's happening.
Yes.
In the pool
and
play.
And they know what time they're going to play. There is no filling people in.
Exactly. Where are we going?
Night.
I agree. That's why Rochester goes so smooth. It's all bracket play stuff.
All bracket play.
All righty. Well, let's get right to it. Bantam A, it's a 16-teamer, 4 pools. Obviously, if you win your pool, you're in the semifinals. Real simple. That's what Michelle was arguing. Like, hey, you either make it or you don't. And then if you're in a second place, guess what? You're going to get another second place team to play on Sunday. All right, Pool A is Andover, Chisago Lakes, Armstrong Cooper's a good team, and Bloomington Jefferson. Who do you got in that one?
Jefferson.
I'm going Jefferson as well. Pool B, Blaine, Mankato, Orono, and River Lakes.
Against my better Angels, I'm not picking Blaine. I'm going to go Mankato.
Okay. I'm going to go River Lakes in that one. They were good. That 2 years ago as Pee-wees, this River Lakes crew was in the state tournament down in New Ulm.
Oh, good.
Pool C, Centennial, Rochester, Wayzata, and Moorhead.
Moorhead.
I am going Moorhead as well. I think Wayzata's got plenty of talent, though, to make a push on those guys. All right. Pool D is Waseca, White Bear Lake, Chaska-Chan, and a very good Cottage Grove team.
Cottage Grove.
I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go Chaska-Chan.
Okay.
And then who will your winner be?
Mankato.
I am going to go Moorhead. They are going to get over. Sean Birdie, the squad, is going to get over on it this year. They were in the chip last year. They were in the chip of the Blue Ox. I think this is going to be their time. So I'm going with Moorhead.
I can see it.
I can see it too. All right, so we're going to go Pee Wee AA. This is the other pool play one. It's right here. Pool A is Andover, who we've already talked about. If you're playing in this pool, just plan on a lot of goals. Andover, Grand Rapids, Wayzata, and Prior Lake. All of these teams, except Grand Rapids, were in the Big Pumpkin, and we've had our eyes on these guys a lot. I really want to pick Grand Rapids here. They got the Brigham Mertz kid. They got Cal Casey. This is going to be a good team. But I just think Andover's just got way too much for these guys. I'm going Andover. Who do you got?
Andover.
I'm going to stick Pool B is Rogers, who we saw in the Pumpkin, Hermantown, International Falls, which is going to be a lot of fun. This is the first time we've ever had a Broncos team in our tournament. So
it's a good team.
I want to get a lot of pictures of International Falls this weekend. And then Matamidi. Okay, who do you got in this one?
Rogers. I liked what I saw out of Rogers.
I'm going to go a little bit off the card here, and I'm going to pick Hermantown. Okay. I was just up in Hermantown yesterday, and I was talking to a couple of different people, and they know that I'm high on that team.
That's recency bias.
That is definitely recency bias.
Don't let Pat Andrews talk you into anything.
He did not. He's
very charming, but don't let him.
I know. He is very charming. Pool C is Centennial, Duluth East, St. Cloud. We haven't had St. Cloud since in a tournament in 3 years.
It's been a long
I remember
time.
the Johnny Hirschfeld Bantam team was in the Blue Ox. I feel like that's the last time we saw St. Cloud. We had an opening months ago for a Squirt A spot, and our good friend Bobby Knight and those guys up there, we offered them the spot, and they had already filled up their other tournament spots. So we almost had St. Cloud in the Squirt A's as well. So, but we filled them with another team. So we have St. Cloud and Stillwater. Who do you like in that one? Centennial, East, St. Cloud, or Stillwater?
Stillwater.
I'm going to go Duluth East.
Had to think about it.
And then Pool D, we have Champlain Park, Osseo Maple Grove, Rochester, and White Bear Lake.
Osseo Maple Grove.
Yeah, I was trying to sell you on White Bear Lake.
No.
Little Emmett O'Leary, get the magic back. 5 goals.
5 goals
in
in the third period.
I think it could happen.
I don't
He's
know.
a good hockey player.
I don't know if it could happen against.
They don't have
Osseo
Owen Ryan in the
Maple
net.
Grove,
If they did, I'd like this team. They're the defending champs.
Yeah, that Bantam team is kind of spoiled getting to rotate between those
I
two
know.
guys.
I know. It's really good.
They drop one down to the Pee-wees.
All right. Can we get the gumption to pick against OMG? I'm not.
No, I'm picking OMG.
And I'm taking OMG, and here's why I'm picking taking them against the field is the top 4 teams, OMG, and we talk about it every week, OMG, Minnetonka, Edina, and Woodbury. They have not been beaten yet. Although OMG got tied by Moorhead last Saturday morning. So we've had a tie. We have not had a loss. I don't see the loss coming again. I don't see the loss coming this weekend.
The Moorhead team that I was originally so high on for
Yes.
Pumpkin has officially showed up.
They're starting to show up, although they played Edina later on that day, right after my reffing games, and I think they got beat 8-5 by Edina, which is, considering they had 2 games back-to-back, not as easy. But
Tough.
All right, Pee Wee A's. Here we go. 16-team bracket team. Number 1 seed Roseville. Number 2 seed Osseo Maple Grove. That's the teams in the top and the bottom half of the bracket. Who do you got going all the way?
Out of the top of the bracket, I got Roseville
Yep.
and Northfield.
Okay, I like
And
that.
Out of the bottom, I got OMG and Minnetonka.
I have on the top of the bracket, I got Roseville. At the bottom, I got Chaska-Chan. That was the team that lost in a shootout in the Little Pumpkin.
Ooh,
I think it was a
really
shootout.
close.
I think it was a shootout.
Okay.
Remember, Johnny Baker got the the win in the shootout. I think it was a shootout.
Yes.
Yep. So I'm going to go Roseville, Chaskatchewan at the top, Osseo Maple Grove, and Tonka in the bottom. And I'm going to pick Osseo Maple Grove to sweep the Pee Wee version of the maybe I'll pick them to win them all. Yeah. What? To win the
whole thing.
Pee Wee AA, Pee Wee A, and Pee Wee B.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so right now I got Pee Wee AA and Pee Wee. I'll go OMG is going to win this one too.
I got Roseville in the Pee Wee A division.
Oh, I knew that was coming. How
Did
predictable.
You?
How predictable. You should have seen him. When I told him Roseville was a AA team playing in the A because they can play in either one, he literally grabbed his piece of paper, scratched off who he originally had, and put Roseville in it. So he is a home body when it comes to his Roseville peeps.
Right there.
All right, Pee Wee Bees. Minnetonka is the number one team.
Are they really?
At the top, yes.
Geez.
You saw these guys. You broadcasted this Minnetonka team in the Gobbler semifinals on Sunday morning.
Well, I didn't pick them.
And then you have. Did you check on White Bear? Is that the same White Bear team that won our?
This is very D2 heavy here.
Is it? Is that the same White Bear? Can you double check that? Because that's a good team.
Yeah,
I think it's the other White Bear team.
You think it's black? No,
I think it might be black. I don't know.
Orange is like 22-3 or something.
Yeah, double check. There's no way I would have made them this low. I would have made them the number one seed. I think it is the other team. You looking it up right now?
I'm trying to.
Trying desperately. Yeah, because it's just listed in ours as White Bear Lake. All right, number one seed Minnetonka, number two seed Grand Rapids, and then the 3 seed would be Matamidi Gold.
I believe it is Pee Wee B1 black.
It is black.
White
Okay.
Bear Lake.
And then OMG looks like they're in the 8-9 game, so that's the second team, OMG White. So a lot of teams, a lot of choices. Who do you got?
Out of the top of the bracket, I got Matamidi Blue.
Okay, that's a good team.
And Edina.
Ooh, so you're going with the 8 seed and the 5 seed.
Yep. And then out of the bottom, I got Roseville.
Okay.
And Matamidi Gold.
Wow, you're just like staying.
This is where Matamidi's sweet spot, though.
It is.
Pee Wee B. They
It's
always
been
have
that way. Yeah.
2 good Pee Wee B teams.
I agree with that. So who is your champion going to be?
Matamidi Gold.
I'm going to go Minnetonka all the way. I think they're the class of this. They're the highest ranked team from staff rankings. Okay. So I'm going to go with Tonka on this one. I think it's Tonka Blue. So
gotcha.
All righty. What a run. We run around.
That was a good one. I think we're all the way through. Are we on to Roses and Thorns? And who's that brought to us by?
No, first we got to talk about our Lumberjack sponsor will be Breakaway Academy. Thank you to Breakaway Academy with their 3 pillars: athletics, character, and academics. Fantastic stuff. They are a growing school. The reason they're growing is because they got great leadership, great teachers, and they do a heck of a job discerning on if someone's going to be a great student, a great fit for their school. They don't just take everybody. And you can tell when you go over there, the energy in the building, from the teachers to the instructors on the ice, and obviously the principals and owners and everyone in charge over there. It's a great school, great everything you'd want to educate your son or daughter.
I think that was great.
Did I knock it out?
I think you knocked it out.
All right.
I think you would fit in at Breakaway.
We'll have Andy Brink on the show again 2-3 times a year. I think Andy really takes our show to the next level. I love seeing Andy, and
he also has the rare perspective of being an NHL parent.
Yeah, he does. That's pretty good. That's actually valid. And then with Dave Snuggerud, I think Jimmy's about 3 months away from also being an NHLer as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little surprised. Never mind. I mean,
what?
I was surprised he didn't leave after
a lot of people were. A lot of people were.
Yeah, Jimmy's a surefire NHLer, so it'll be interesting to watch Dave and Andy. What do you think they're like to travel with at the airport?
Oh, my gosh. Easy. I think they'd be easy.
Are they the type to get to their gate and not move?
Yes, for sure.
Or they strike me a little more as okay, well, we've got 2.5 hours to kill. All right, Dave and I are going to go for a walk.
Yeah.
And then they walk for 2 hours. They got to get their steps in.
Yeah, that would be me too.
Okay.
That would definitely be me. I like to get there, get situated, and then go burn off a few thousand steps. That's definitely what I do.
Gotcha.
But I like to get there and get everything situated. I don't like to rush.
I want to locate my gate.
I like to get there and get settled and then go.
Do your thing?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Roses and Thorns? Is that what we're down to?
Roses and Thorns. I have 2 roses today.
Okay.
And no thorns.
What about Red Balloon?
Red Balloons, but that would be one of my roses. My goodness. I went over there again this week, actually last Friday, and got to spend some time with them, take a look at their facility. Actually ran into a patient who was a neighbor of mine, so that's always fun to see, and hopefully he's doing better. Yeah. I got a chance to get kind of a little bit of a tour, learn how their reception process works. I actually talked to them about the summer hours. The winter hours, the vacation hours. Everything stays the same except maybe Christmas Day. Everything stays the same. They're still going to be evenings only. Despite people being off of work, 3 o'clock to 11 o'clock every day. Check out Red Balloon. You have not orthopedic. That's a different sponsor. Sorry, a pediatric stitches, first dose medications if you need it. After hours, easy to get a hold of. Easy location to find, in Edina, 73rd and France Avenue. Check out Red Balloon. It's urgent care for pediatrics. Fantastic place. I love working with them, and I can't wait to keep promoting these guys every week because they're doing such great things over there. All right, Roses and Thorns.
That was great.
I do not have a thorn. So I just made up another rose. You want to start off, and then we'll finish it on a positive?
Yeah, Christmas. I don't really have a rose.
That's great. Let's hear your thorn.
I haven't gone to a lot of hockey over the last couple of weeks. I guess
you will this week.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go to a lot over the last couple of weeks. I'm prepared for the marathon, not the sprint. So my thorn, and I see this. I was inspired with this thorn by a Substack post by a man named. I might have thrown away the title page. Chris Salisi, I think is his name. Okay. But this is an issue that I think also plays a role. Wow, that was a long gap. Also plays a role in hockey with the new rule that CHL players can now play in the CHL and then come down to
play college hockey
and play American college hockey. I put American in quotes because colleges I don't think have ever.
Oh, here we go. I know what this one is.
So this guy wrote
I'm gonna get my popcorn out.
A long Substack post about Vermont and Marshall played in the Division I men's soccer finals. Vermont and Marshall.
Vermont won.
And to a normal person like me, I saw Vermont win and I thought, whoa, that's really cool.
I think so too.
Vermont beat little old Marshall University, like West Virginia.
Isn't that cool?
Marshall, the Thundering Herd.
I think it's super cool. I learned of this when Max Strand, Mr. Hockey 2022 or whatever, he retweeted it. I'm like, oh, that's super cool. That's how I knew Vermont won.
It's also cool that the men's hockey team is supporting the men's soccer team.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. I mean, we are Marshall, little old Marshall. It's gone through so much heartache over the last 5 decades.
Yes.
He played for a national title in men's soccer. And this guy's stipulation or his gripe was that so many of the players from each team were international players.
That shouldn't be allowed.
It should not be allowed. We see this in hockey too because there's this fear that Canadians will somehow launch themselves over this invisible border wall and steal college hockey spots from Americans. They're stealing it. They're stealing spots from Americans. Maybe the Americans should get better.
I agree.
Maybe the Americans should just get better.
I agree.
If you want to go down this road, then maybe we should stop letting international students attend American colleges and universities at all.
I agree.
Should we keep out all of the brilliant biochem majors if they happen to be from Luxembourg or the Ukraine or Beijing or Tokyo or New Zealand or the Ivory Coast? Should we keep them out of American colleges and universities? Because by God, American colleges and universities, they're for American students. And if that means we have to take a slightly dumber biochem major instead of the prodigy from an international country, that's what you're saying we need to do.
No,
that's what we need to do.
Get better.
We need to keep international students out of this.
And I know this is a youth show, but the purpose of NCAA hockey and the USHL, all this, is to get the best versus best. And now college hockey, because of this, will become the best league. It may become even a better league than the AHL. In my opinion, that's good for hockey, not bad for hockey.
And the second part of my opinion is that the people that seem to have this issue also love to squawk about the purpose of collegiate athletics. Yeah. Brother, your version of the purpose of collegiate athletics went out the window when they started putting games.
Anymore.
It's 86, 1966. Yeah. They've been paying players to play collegiate athletics since the beginning of time. This altruistic version of college athletics, you're a student athlete, you put the damn basketball tournament on 15 TV channels.
Yeah.
Don't take the money. If you don't want it to be this corporate sellout fest, don't take the money. Coaches don't get to make millions of dollars. Shoe companies don't have a place at the table.
I'm not arguing with that.
Other than that, it's beep.
Okay.
It's just so frustrating.
Wow, that's a good rant. Great rants. That's going to be
American colleges and university athletics are for American. No, they're not.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I actually have 3 roses, not just 2. I will start my third. This is the first one. I got a letter this week. It reads, Tony, I was listening to Her Ice podcast today and had interest in the segment regarding the girls' undefeated teams, which they still are. I still chuckle every time you bring up Marshall to Peter. As the tournament director, I would love to invite Peter to Marshall for the Bantam A State tournament. I know you were talking about New Ulm during the podcast, so I don't know if you already had plans for him to be there because it is the Bantam A State Championship, Bantam AA, or if he was going to cover both locations. But as the author of the email that started the whole thing, I would love to have Peter come to Marshall, meet some of the great people here, and show him that Marshall really is a great place and growing hockey community. We realized that after a long and difficult drive to Marshall from Bloomington, he would likely need a place to rest. So Marshall Amateur Hockey will provide a room for Peter if he is able to make it here. It's 75 minutes from the Red Baron Arena to New Ulm Civic Center, one of our shortest district and conference drives. So to hopefully set the record straight that he really doesn't hate Marshall and that we really don't hold any grudges here, we would love to have him join us here in March. Hope to hear from you soon. Sincerely, Ryan Stelter, Tournament Director, District 4, Marshall Amateur Hockey Association. What do you have to say to Ryan?
It's got to be Lily Stelter's dad.
It's probably is.
Probably. Number one, Ryan, your daughter is an outstanding goalie. Glowing reports from virtually everybody you've played so far. She had 44 saves last night.
Yes, and we got a report from the Eden Prairie coach about how good she was.
Very complimentary about Lily Stelter, the netminder.
All right. What do you have to say for yourself?
I don't know. I feel...
You're put on the spot.
I am. I'm put on the spot
this here. Is my rose.
My allegiance still lies with Totino's party pizzas.
Okay.
Not sure how I feel about Red Baron Pizza quite yet.
All right. How about the rink?
I don't know what. I like the rink. I've been to the rink. What are you talking about?
You were at the Bantam AA
in White Bear Lake.
2017, I think it was.
White Bear Lake won the Bantam AA state tournament. So I've been there. I like the rink. I don't know if I'm going to be there this year based on logistics and geography.
No, you're going, as of right now, you're scheduled for New Ulm for the Bantam AA. I will be in PBAA, PBA in Moorhead, and I believe you might get Ben Liss or Andrew again down in New Ulm.
I think Ben Liss has already volunteered 10 times.
Yeah, he loves Marshall. He loves Marshall. See, for as much as we think Peter hates Marshall, we know that Ben loves it, so he'll probably be back again.
And I have a great deal of respect for the people in Marshall because they're
doing it right.
They do. They've drawn the short end of the stick geographically. But it's tough to get teams to get out there, but the enthusiasm that community has shown since the rink was built and even before that, just to get a rink built like that in a place like Marshall, kudos to Marshall for sure.
I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, now on to my second rose. This one goes out to call them Green Pants, okay?
Green Pants.
So on Saturday night,
Green Pants?
So on Saturday night, after Debbie and I watched the Michigan State game over some apps at North Star.
What'd you get?
Oh, I always get nachos. Big nacho guy. So we go with another couple. We went over to the VFW in East Bloomington, where a friend of ours is a lead singer in a cover band, watch cover band. And, you're in a cover band, you're just kind of sitting there having a beer, watching the band or whatever. And they were doing a great job. And about second or third song in, I look out and there's Green Pants. There's this guy. He's probably 5'6", 5'7", easily 75 years old, maybe older. And he's got kind of greased back, gray hair, glasses.
Small old man.
Small
with bad
old man, like a
eyesight.
leprechaun.
Okay.
Green pants. And he is a dancing machine.
Nice. I love it.
And I'm not exaggerating on this. Like, he had hundreds of moves, but my favorite is the kung fu kick. He would get into the move and he'd go into a full kung fu kick, and then he would go into a pirouette, and then he went into a pirouette a few times where we went at least around 20 times. He'd spin and spin and spin and spin, and I'm thinking if I'm spinning 3-4 times, I'm down on the ground with dizziness. Like I'm gonna be out, right? Yeah. And this guy's 70+ years old, and he's spinning around, kung fu kicking. He had this other thing when he was doing his hands like this. I mean, some of the moves were off the charts, professionally done, but he's doing it in a VFW on a Saturday night in Minnesota. Like, it was kind of wasted on his talent, was wasted on the other 50 people in the bar. But my shout out, my rose goes out to Green Pants for entertaining me for a couple hours that night.
It's probably how Kayla feels working here.
Yes, and then finally, I talked about reffing a lot of 15A and 15B. I reffed the 15A. I was a linesman for the 15A, what was it, Minnetonka Blue versus Jefferson/Eden Prairie. And so here's a group of kids, a lot of them from my hometown, from Bloomington, and we had a lot of fun. They were making fun of me for missing calls, and then I had explained to them I'm just the linesman. I don't make the calls. The kids had a great attitude. I had a lot of fun with them. They had a lot of fun with me, and I just like good attitude. These girls were great. I got home and looked up their record. They're 6-3. They're plugging away. They're probably not in that top 5 type team in the state, but they're in that next echelon, 6-12, 6-20 type team. And if you got a good attitude, you're going to have a great season. So my hat's off to the Jefferson Eden Prairie guys. Nick Checo was their coach. Got to talk with Nick a little bit before the game.
Mr. Hockey,
93, I think. Okay. 93. So I didn't get a chance to tweet out, do one of my Tony refs one, but my tweet would have said something like number of Mr. Hockey's on the bench. It would have been number 1, and I would have put in parentheses 1993. But it was fun to ref those guys, and hope to see them around the rink a couple more times this year. So that's my other rose, goes out to the Jefferson Eden Prairie kids from that game.
I do have a rose.
Oh, you do? All right.
Yes.
I prompted you. Good.
And this is kind of a blanket rose. It highlights one person, but it's kind of a blanket rose. I ran into Dylan Dean at the airport. Dylan plays for the Long Island Gulls.
I love this. This is great.
And I was flying back from New York City with my wife and my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law. And Dylan and I made eye contact. And
you've known Dylan.
I've known Dylan since he was just a little guy.
Yep.
And
were you at the Brick when they were 08s were there, or was it just me? I think it was just me.
It was just you.
Yeah.
I think it was just you. But walked over, shook his hand, said hello, and it was just really nice to see a teenager that kind of bucks all of the doomsday trends of people saying that teenagers don't know how to communicate and they're antisocial. Dylan was conversational. He's a real gentleman. He was very polite we were in the same zone for boarding, so we got on the plane together, and he was very polite to the airline staff. And it was a lot of fun to see a kid that he's been gone for a couple of years, so I haven't gotten to see him play for a little while. But it was just nice to see a young gentleman.
Yeah,
out in the world.
That's
good
fun
for
here.
you, Dylan.
Yeah, good work. And you got some updates and some other Minnesota kids too for future stuff too, which is great, right? That's part of the deal, right?
And I always ask how the other guys are doing out there, and he mentioned that the DeMars boys are both playing well for Long Island, and it's a system and a program that fits what they want out of a hockey program. So, I mean, kids deserve to go where they feel they're going to best develop, and it's up to the kids and the families. I
had a similar occasion like last summer. We were at a bar for my daughter Olivia's grad party, and she and 5 other friends had a party at a bar in a basement, like a 2-hour kind of happy hour. And one of the friends in the group's sister is dating Charlie Strammel.
Nice.
And Charlie was there, and because I was not working and Charlie was not there to see Tony, I just left Charlie alone, and I figured Charlie would leave me alone, and we would just enjoy ourselves or whatever. And the party gets over, and we get kind of shushed out because they were like putting through a bunch of parties that night or whatever. We get shushed out the door. We get put upstairs, and we run into each other. I'm like, I purposely didn't come talk to you. He goes, oh, my God, I was hoping you would come and talk to me. This is the most boring party ever, or something like that along those lines. He wanted to talk about hockey. But he also respected the fact that I was there for my daughter and wasn't there to talk about hockey. And here he does. He's a super nice kid. You know, I knew his dad really well. I know his mom works at Breakaway. And so I have a lot of connections with him. And obviously with Sophie being a 2-time interviewee for the state tournament, we know the family pretty well. And Cooper too. Yeah.
One more coming.
We've had a lot of good connections with the family. And I talked to him a little bit that night. And it was just fun to watch. You know, we've talked a little bit about, you had an interview with him before he got drafted. And ever since he'd been drafted by the Wild, the people calling him a bust and a bust. I'm like, that's such a joke. I mean, for what he and Isaac Howard did on this weekend on home ice, on their home ice here in Minnesota, it was fun to see. I mean, granted, we are Gophers and Gopher fans, but it's fun to watch kids that we've watched play a long time go play in a really tough environment like Mariucci, and we get 5 out of 6 points. I was the happiest guy in the world for those two boys in having the success they did at Mariucci that night. Well, just the smiles on their face were amazing.
I don't think that either of us want to see any of these kids fail.
No.
And considering the level of flack that Isaac and Charlie have taken over their collegiate careers, and to see them really take off under this coaching staff at Michigan State, it's great.
It's fantastic.
I want everybody to succeed.
It goes back to, like, you know, I'm talking a little bit on our college stuff about Brad Berry, you know, and Brett. Did you see the Brad Berry, Brett Larson verbal kerfuffle on Friday or Saturday night? It's good. It's good for the rivalries. And, you know, we know Brad and we know Brett really well, and through hockey and all that stuff, it's fun to see it all kind of on the stage and know these guys. That Brad's a great guy. This guy he loves UND hockey. He loves youth hockey. When he and I see each other, we're catching up on players and how his son Bauer's doing and everything like that. And to see him kind of get heated is great, because that's good for hockey, and they have success. It's great for hockey, and we love just kind of being there to kind of put the light on it, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I've mentioned before on the show how when I go to Wild games, I get kind of turned off because I'm not a big fighting guy. I hate it. Fighting, but I have to remind myself sometimes that sports, and even college, not professional sports, is entertainment, right?
Yeah.
And the most entertaining form of athletic specimen was the gladiators, and then it was pro wrestling. So there has to be a pro. There's
wrestling
got to
be a little bit of there.
Element. There has to be a good versus evil. My guy's good, your guy's evil. There has to be this animosity.
Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are great TV, right?
What? That's the only reason there's any attention paid to the league is because Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Correct.
That's it.
You know, Kim Mulkey's good for women's basketball. We need that.
Kim Mulkey's good for women's basketball.
We need that in women's professional sports. We need it.
Stephen A. Smith is good for professional sports.
Really good. It's the pro wrestling.
Skip Bayless in his day was good for professional sports.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
People also forget that Skip Bayless used to be like a hardcore journalist, but
used to be.
Yeah, used to be. Long time ago.
We are trying hard to be hardcore journalists, doing our best.
Not.
I think we're doing pretty good.
Look at your outfit.
What do you mean?
Look at your outfit.
I'm Santa.
I have bells.
I'm Santa. I'm here to give. We're giving out good content. I hope you like today's show. Before we go, a couple things. Thanks to our sponsor, Map South Hockey, General Sports, Breakaway Academy, and Red Balloon. Thanks to Kayla for putting on today's show. Peter and I love working with you. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. It's going to be an awesome season. Great holiday hockey coming up. Lumberjack Cup, Tradition Holiday, as well as the Dangle Fest. We will be back after the first of the year to talk more youth hockey in Minnesota. For Peter Odney, I'm Tony Scott. Thanks for tuning in to today's show.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Need to stay up